How the internet got started. A wild ride from Cold War to email. The world was a scary place. Back in the 1960s, the world felt like it was on the edge of a cliff. The Cold War was in full swing, and the US and Soviet Union were locked in a tense standoff. Think Cuban Missile Crisis, where nuclear war seemed like it could happen any second. Everyone was paranoid, and every new tech breakthrough, like the Soviets launching Sputnik, felt like a punch in the gut. This fear pushed the US to build massive defense systems to keep up. One of those was SAGE, a huge air defense setup. Picture giant computers in massive rooms, tracking planes across the US. It was impressive, costing billions and taking years to build. But here's the catch. It was a sitting duck. One good hit on its central hub, and the whole system would collapse. That flaw got people thinking. There had to be a better way to build networks that could survive anything. That's where the internet's story really kicks off. A dreamer named Lick. Enter J.C.R. Licklider, or Lick to his friends. This guy was a big thinker. In 1962, he joined ARPA, a U.S. agency created to make sure America didn't get caught off guard again after Sputnik. Lick had worked on SAGE and saw how clunky it was. But instead of focusing on war, he had a wild idea. What if computers could work with people, like partners? In his 1960 paper, he called it Man-Computer Symbiosis and dreamed of an intergalactic computer network connecting everyone. Sounds like sci-fi, right? Lick's vision wasn't about building a bomb-proof network, despite what some folks think. ARPA's goal was simpler. Let scientists share super expensive computers, even if they were miles apart. Sure, the Cold War vibe helped push things along, but the real drive was about brains, not bombs. A smarter way to send data. Here's where things get clever. Old-school phone lines were terrible for computers. They'd tie up a whole line just to send a tiny bit of data, like reserving an entire highway for one car. Two guys, Paul Baran in the US and Donald Davies in the UK, came up with the same fix at almost the same time, without even knowing each other. They called it packet switching. Imagine chopping up a letter into tiny pieces, putting each piece in its own envelope, and mailing them separately. Each piece finds its own way to the destination, and then they're put back together. That's packet switching, data split into packets that travel independently. If one path gets blocked, they find another. This made networks tough as nails and super efficient. It's the backbone of the internet we know today, the internet's first word. By 1969, ARPA was ready to test this new network, called ARPANET. They hooked up 4 computers at universities in California and Utah. On October 29th, a student named Charlie Klein tried to send the word login from UCLA to a computer at Stanford, 500 kilometers away. He typed L. It worked. He typed O, still good. Then G, and crash. The system went down. So, the internet's first word? L-O. Talk about a humble start for something that changed the world. It's like the internet tripped, got back up, and kept running. Email steals the show. Fast forward to 1971, and a guy named Ray Tomlinson at BBN, the company building ARPANET, had a light bulb moment. He was messing around with programs to send messages on one computer and thought, why not send them between computers? He tweaked some code, and bam, email was born. The first message? Probably just random letters like QWERTYUIOP. Nobody's sure, but it doesn't matter. By 1973, email was taking over ARPANET. People weren't just sharing computer power anymore. They were chatting. Oh, and Ray picked the @ symbol to separate usernames from computer names and email addresses. Why? It was on the keyboard, and nobody used it in their names. Simple, genius, and now it's everywhere. In some places, they call it weird names like puppy or elephant's trunk. Who knew a little symbol could be so big, connecting the dots? By the mid-1970s, ARPANET was growing, but it had a problem. It couldn't talk to other networks. Imagine trying to call someone in another country with no translator. Engineers Vint Cerf and Bob Kahn fixed this with TCP/IP, a protocol that let different networks share data like one big happy family. It's like creating a universal language for computers. By 1983, TCP/IP was the standard, and ARPANET became part of a bigger network of networks. Yep, the internet. From nerds to hippies. ARPANET started as a nerdy project for scientists and the military, but something cool was happening outside the lab. In the 1960s, computers were seen as cold, government machines. Students even protested by wearing computer punch cards to say, "We're not just numbers." But by the 1970s, personal computers were popping up, and people started seeing them as tools for connection, not control. A guy named Timothy Leary called this vibe cyberculture, mixing 1960s hippie ideals with tech. People like Stuart Brand, who ran the Whole Earth catalog, saw computers as a way to build communities and free minds. This shift helped turn the internet into something open and creative. The end of ARPANET, the start of everything. By 1986, a new network called NSFNET took over as the internet's backbone. ARPANET, the old pioneer, was shut down in 1990. Then came Tim Berners-Lee with the World Wide Web in 1990, and the Mosaic browser in 1993 made it easy for anyone to surf the net. What started as a way to share computers became a global platform for everything: work, play, connection. The internet story isn't just about tech. It's about fear, big dreams, and happy accidents. From Cold War panic to a grad student's crash, from a random @ to a World Wide Web, it's a messy, human tale of building something bigger than anyone imagined.